Good morning. You're listening to Overcoming Life. I am your host, Opal Bailey. Have you ever had someone ask you something to do and you really didn't want to do it? Or maybe you did it and you just kind of felt like it's an obligation to do it, but inside you just cringed at the thought of, why did I say yes to this? When all along you were thinking of saying no. You're not alone, because we all have this habit of not saying no, or having the problem to say no, or difficulty in saying no. But the benefit of saying no will help you to see life in a different view, because the more that we learn to say no, the more happier you will be. Not so much of saying no to the point where your husband asks, hey, can you go pick the kid up? You're like, no, nothing like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about to the place where you find yourself so busy, you find yourself so worn out to where you're running around, you're constantly doing things what other people are asking you to do, other people's plan for your day, and you feel that you shouldn't say no because you're afraid of what they would think, or will they accept you, or maybe even reject it in a sense. In my own personal life, I had dealt with that so many years because I wanted to be accepted by people and I wanted to be liked by everyone. But as time grew and as I grew and matured, I found out that I don't have to be liked by everyone and I don't have to be accepted by everyone, because the main person that accepts me is the main one that I need to have accept me, and that is God. But in the process of all of that, I learned that when I was asked to do something, and soon as I was asked, I already knew I didn't want to go or I didn't want to do it. But yes came out. So when the yes came out, I'm already beating myself up because I'm feeling like, why did I say yes when I didn't want to do, or I didn't want to be a part of the event, or I didn't want to go pick up somebody, and I beat myself up the whole day. So then my whole day was ruined, because instead of me saying no, I don't have time, or just saying no, I'm not able to do that at this moment, I will find myself saying yes. And so I had to kind of sit back and reevaluate, why was I continually saying yes to a lot of things, which wore me out. I was more stressed. I didn't have time for myself, nor did I have time for my children. Or worse, we planned something, and when someone else called or there was something else that I was asked to do, I would put my children on the back burner, or I would cancel the plan that we had for that day, and then I would do something else. And then when I look back over my life, I realized the times that I miss, the moments that I let go, because I didn't say no. And so the power of no is so vital in our lives, to where it's not just saying no because I have the right to say no and, don't ask me any questions, but it's more or less when you get to the place where you are constantly doing a lot for everyone else and you're not taking the time for yourself, and you're giving up something. You're giving up your family time. You're giving up going somewhere. If it's just to get away for yourself, you would do that. And recently I was on my way home and I had a call, which normally is from my children, my daughters, asking me to pick up something or stop by and get something. But this particular day, I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning getting ready to go to work at 8. And I didn't get home until about like 8:30. So by the time I got in my car driving home, it was as if I couldn't get home fast enough and the car was going really slow. So my first thought, I'm going home, I'm getting in that bed and I'm done. Well, I get a call from one of my daughters asking me, hey, Mom, can you stop by the store and pick up? And immediately it was the hardest thing to say, but I said no. And I had to pause for a moment because I'm like, did I just really say that? Did I just really say that? And it was like this quiet pause on the phone. And the only thing I could do was laugh loud. And my daughter's like, oh, okay. And ever since then, I was able to start saying no to things that will take me away from what's important to me, what I'm doing or where I'm going, or even the time that I've had set aside for my girls and our time together. It's so vital and so important to say no to those things that will constantly keep pulling at you, because there's always going to be something that need to be done somewhere. Someone need for you to take them or to go, but you have to get in the position to use the power of no. I'm not able to do that today. No, I planned on taking my children or my family, or I'm planned on just going away for the weekend or for the holidays and just want to get away, and be okay. Because, the scriptures tell us to say yes. Let our yes be yes and our no be no. And anything else other than that, it says it's evil. And what it means to say it's evil is that we'll come up with these reasons or excuses that may not be truthful. We'll come up with something to say to justify why we said no, so we can be in good graces with the person who asked us, when the only answer is just saying no, and just being okay with knowing that it is okay to say no. Just as easy as we can say yes, we have to learn, and even I'm still learning, to say no and be okay with yourself, because there are benefits in saying no. There are also negative side in saying no, because when you're really, there could be a time when you're called or you need someone needs something, and you just want to just say no. Not that you are doing anything or you have to go somewhere. You just want to no, I have the power. No, I'm going to just say no. I'm not talking about that. To balance out everything that we do, because you know what? Everything in our life is balance. We can't go too far to the left. We can't go too far to the right. We have to have balance. And sometimes we have to just say no and be okay with being you, living life, loving you, and being you. And for those who know you and those who understand what you're doing and what path you're taking and the changes that you may be making personally, they will love you anyway. This is what is called unconditional love. I love regardless of whether someone tell you to do and you don't do, whether this is right or wrong, whether you made me mad or not. Love is love. So it's unconditional. So the person who's listening, or the person who asks you something and you say no and you didn't say yes, when they're really expecting you to say yes. So the more you say yes to something, I don't know if you ever noticed, people come out of the woodwork and ask a lot of stuff, and next thing you know, oh, can you do? Yes. Can you, hey, I need you to pick up something on the way, bring it to the church. Yes. Hey, could you pick someone from the airport? Okay. What time? Yes. But then you ran all day and now you have to keep running, and you get home, you're exhausted. You have no time, no energy, no nothing for the people who's waiting for you at home all day. So we have to balance our life out a little bit. And I'm so glad that the Lord put that in the scripture about yes and no, because even he know how we as humans will be. We'll constantly keep going and keep going and keep going, but then we'll find ourselves exhausted, not really putting the energy that we really need to put into something that is more valuable or more of an effort into things, and we'll constantly go. But then we have to look at ourselves and see, why do we constantly go all the time? And why are we constantly saying yes to majority of the things? And you got to take a self-assessment. Like Michael Jackson said, hey, look, the man in the mirror, all starts with us. So I encourage you today to go throughout this week and use the power of no in a positive light, not a negative, but practice it and you'll be free. This is Overcoming Life. I am your host, Opal Bailey. God bless you.